Good morning. I'm at Mizpah Hut. Work for stay yesterday was pretty good. I did an inventory of their freezer and got to sleep in the library, which is where I'm at right now. Let me show you what it looks like. So here's the library. These are old like guest registers that people signed. This one's from 1967. And you can see all the people who have come here. It's also a good reminder for me to like sign those things like when I go to these huts. So I made sure to sign the register for Mizpah, so if I ever come back here I can go and look it up and read about my stay. Last night actually was a little crazy. I guess there's like a rivalry between the crews and they go and like steal things from one another. So actually at 1 a.m. Another crew member from a different hut came and stole the helmet from Mizpah Hut. So I like made eye contact with him outside of a window. I'll show you the window. Like this window, like right here, he was like pretty much eye level, like right, if I turned right outside that window, because it was mounted on the wall, and he pretty much had it, and then, we were trying to make sure that he couldn't get it, but at that point he had it, and there was another thru-hiker downstairs that was doing a lot more than I did. And then we wound up moving his shoes and his backpack, which at 1:30 a.m. he could not find for a good half hour. So that was pretty good. He might have gotten the helmet, but he also had a frantic, time trying to find his shoes and backpack. So, don't steal from the huts that we're staying at. But yeah, like antics like that are fun. Trying to work for stays here, they're fun, and the work isn't that bad. It's actually interesting because you get to see how the huts work. So I'm actually going to hang out here today for breakfast. Breakfast is at 8, so I'll do a little bit more work today and then get back on trail. And I'm hoping to get around Zealand Mountain today, push past Zealand Hut, and to actually camp like in a tent for the first time in a few days. Somewhere around Zealand. So that's the goal, but before then, hot breakfast and hot coffee. But yeah, right now I'm just looking back at mainly the southern presidentials right now and just kind of saying goodbye. I know I might get some views. If it's clear, I'll get some views back on Franconia Ridge and yeah, maybe even the Twins. But yeah, it's been a fun few days. I still love this area. The huts have been incredibly special. That's an aspect of the Whites I really haven't done before, so I've had such a good time at all the huts. I've stopped at all of them, whether just for a snack or for 2 work for stays. So yeah, I'm just taking a few minutes saying goodbye to the presidentials and yeah, pushing forward. So I'm on Webster Cliff Trail. Definitely getting really steep. It's hard to tell, but it's a pretty sheer drop off. I have about 3.5 miles and around 3,000 feet elevation loss. So yeah, pretty steep drop. Winds are starting to pick up a little bit. And yeah, definitely some storms this afternoon, so hopefully I can get down before all that starts. Man, I have to say, like, Webster Cliff Trail is very hard. Yeah, it's rocks, boulders. I mean, it's straight down, Incredibly slow. Have about a mile left of Webster Cliff Trail, and this one's been really hard. I'll put it up there, top 3 hardest descents of the trip so far. It could be number 1, to be honest. It's just long. It's like 4-ish miles of very steep, rocky, slow rock faces. You kind of go over like 3 or 4 false peaks, so you never like really, you kind of think that you're gonna dive down into the woods, and you don't, then you don't, then you don't, then you're in the woods, and then there's a lot of stuff. Also just like loose, a lot of loose ground. I actually had my worst fall on this trail. I definitely fell like straight on my butt through my trekking poles in frustration, and I blew my shoe out. So check this out. So that's the side of my shoe. That happened this morning. Also, this happened this morning. So I think my shoes are definitely shot. I think the presidentials and all that rocky stuff scraped away whatever life was left, and now I'm like really paying for it. But I'll need to patch that hole up because I still have under 100 miles left in my new shoes. Probably like 50 or 60. I don't know the right number, but under 100 to my new shoes. But I can feel that these shoes are not good anymore. And that's kind of frustrating because like I want to go faster, especially downhill, than my shoes can actually take me. Here's a good section of loose crap. It really doesn't look bad, but I'm telling you, like, I have been sliding on stuff like this, like just like loose rock, and it's just no traction at all. There we go, there we go, there we go. So, yeah, you can kind of see like where I just took a little bit of a spill. Yeah, I just like loose little rocks and dirt, and it's been a very frustrating morning. That's now into the afternoon, and I'm not making nearly the mileage I want, but that's okay. I'll get wherever I get today. Alright, so here's a shoe. This is where it seemed to fail. Kind of like this seam right along here, and it just ripped all the way along that same seam. So I have just been using this gear aid tape. So I just put a few patches on there. Do I think that this is actually a long-term fix? No. Will I probably have to redo this every day until I get new shoes? Yes. But I think my main concern is just like getting rocks and sticks and dirt in my shoe. So between that tape and just duct tape, I think it'll at least patch up the hole until I can get into town for new shoes. But yeah, are pretty mangled. So I don't think shoes are supposed to get this destroyed, but Hoka Speed Goats are the best choice for Maine and New Hampshire. They just don't hold up well. So I haven't taken much footage when it's actually raining. It's been pretty dry the whole time. It just rained for maybe a half hour. It's just starting to slow down now, but I'll do a little walk through the rain. took a little .2 Blue Blaze side trail to Thoreau Falls. It is really nice here. I'll show. And then it pretty much cascades all the way down there and all the way down that hill. Alright, so last maybe hour and a half, I've just been getting poured on. Definitely couldn't film. I'm pretty much soaked, except for my shirt's pretty dry. But feet, 100% soaked. I stopped in at Zealand Hut. Didn't film it. It's a little smaller than some of the other huts. And I just got some coffee there, warm up a little bit, and get a little caffeine. Still trying to do the same plan of getting up to Zealand and finding a stealth spot. I was thinking about maybe doing a third work for stay, but I'm still feeling fine, and it's only 5 o'clock. And I know there's some good spots up here, and you know, I can get up there in an hour and a half, and yeah, I don't need to work for stay again, even though that would be cool. So yeah, that is what I'm doing. So I've seen plenty of these boards, but I've never seen this. I guess over there's a view, and this way is the AT. So I'm just gonna keep going the AT because I'm soaked. I'd like to set up a tent, and I've been up here before. I've done Zealand before. So another time when I'm not soaking wet, I'll come back. Man, the light is absolutely beautiful right now. Everything is like still wet, and now the sun's out. This is the second time this has happened on trail, and this is like definitely a new thing for me. So, you know, this is an AT experience for sure. You're not hiking always in good weather, but sometimes bad weather turns good and everything just looks completely different. It's like the forest just gets lit up. Yeah, it's, again, I take videos, it's just I don't know how well they come out. So things got a little crazy. Big storm rolled through. Didn't have a camping spot miles away from the next shelter, so I am stealth camping at Zealand, like Mount Zealand, the summit. Just a little clearing right by the summit. Yeah, I got soaked again, and it's definitely colder up here, so that's why I'm in like layers, and I, you know, took off all my dry stuff, or took off all my wet stuff, put on dry clothes and socks and stuff. Yeah, it was not fun setting up a tent in the rain. There were puddles in the tent. I used my wet socks to sop up some of the puddles and then wring them out. So luckily I have two extra pairs of dry socks. So yeah, not the most fun evening, but I am dry and warm now. So I am just gonna be, and I already ate, so I'm gonna listen to a podcast and go to bed. But yeah, this has kind of been the craziest night in terms of just weather and setting up camp. So, yeah, I'm just gonna relax, take it easy, and head to bed. But, yeah, really weird weather day. I guess I'm just really happy that I was not on Mount Washington for this.